Okay guys, this is not going to be one of my planned rants. This is going to be a video that I've been playing for so long and I just couldn't wait to do it anymore. I'm bored right now. I just got done playing this particular game. Well, game series, and I've been wanting to do this for God knows how long, so I'm going to do it now. This is going to be, I don't know if you call this a rant really, but more like a ramble of things related to CODs 4 and 5 and what I'd like to see in COD 6. And things that annoy people about COD 4 and 5 online, some specifically and some broad. This is definitely going to be like a 2 or 3 part video because I'm probably going to do like one thing, one topic per part. So I got a lot to say about this. Okay, first off, to the people who say that you can't call Call of Duty World at War Call of Duty 5, even though you know it's the 5th game in the series, not counting United Offensive, Finest Hour, Big Red 1, all those expansions. Let me just show you something here. I'll give you a little timeline. Well, it's mainly because I have actually heard people say you can't call it Call of Duty 5 because World at War was made by a different company. Okay, apparently you've never heard of Call of Duty 3. Okay, here's a little timeline. Call of Duty 1, made by Infinity Ward. Call of Duty 2, which I don't own, was also made by Infinity Ward, at least I think it was. Call of Duty 3, which I also don't have, was Treyarch's first foray into this fray. Jump into the fray, whatever. So they made Call of Duty 3, and it was called Call of Duty 3. It wasn't called like Call of Duty 3rd Chapter. It was called Call of Duty 3. See this 4? Replace that 4 with a 3. Anyway, and then Infinity Ward came back, and guess what? They still had the number. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. I never hear people say Modern Warfare. They always just say Call of Duty 4, or COD 4. And then Treyarch comes back and fucks the title up. Call of Duty World at War. When they could have so easily put a 5 after this Y. And call it Call of Duty 5 World at War. And besides, you never hear people say the subtitle. Just cover this up. Or better yet, don't put it on there. Just call it Call of Duty 5. Now, I think Modern Warfare 2 is actually going to be called Call of Duty 6, so thank you, Infinity Ward, for not fucking up the title again. I do like this game, but come on, Treyarch. Put the damn number in the title. Anyway, so that's that. Now, things that specifically annoy people about Call of Duty 4 Online. 2 things for each game that I can think of. There's going to be a specifically on COD 4 and 5, and then just Call of Duty Online annoyances in general, on both games. First off, specifically on COD 4, 2 things. 1, the grenade physics in COD 4. Okay, one of the reasons my kill death on that game was negative for so long, and why it's not as high as it is on World at War, aside from the fact that I got World at War only 1 month after it was released, and everyone online, till then was still shitty, and I got COD 4 6 months after it was released, so by the time I started online, everyone was already good. Or these random grenade throwers. And they know they'll get away from it because these grenades travel farther. It's like you're on the moon, you're throwing a damn baseball. I've seen people throw these grenades over skyscrapers so many times. I watched that kill cam, I'm just like, oh, that it's literally a guess. I don't care if you see the red dot in your UAV or not. There's no way you're going to know that grenade's going to hit. Unless you just memorize these maps left and right, you can read that UAV perfectly. Which, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure some people can. And what really annoys me is when people equip this perk called the 3 primary grenades perk. Or 3 frag grenades in COD 4. Because COD 4 only has 1 primary grenade. And all they do is they throw these 3 grenades in 3 different directions and hope for the best. I actually had a teammate once on wet work. Now wet work is just random grenade heaven. All this guy did was throw 2 of his 3 grenades, commit suicide with the 3rd one, just so he could get his grenades back and repeat the same process the whole match. What's really shocking is he actually managed to get 8 kills doing that. Yes, he committed suicide 16 times. He didn't care. No wonder this kid's kill death was so low. Ugh. And we actually asked him. He was like this. He was high level. I don't know what suddenly urged him to do this whole grenade shit. But his kill death, he told us, was a .63. And he was saying that's good. I'm like, dude, that ain't good. That's really negative. You've had way more deaths than kills. And he was a prestiger, too. I mean, I seriously don't know what drove him to do something like this. Now, what else annoys us? The M16, this one particular weapon. Now, before I used this gun, actually used it, this gun, pissed me off so much, I just didn't play COD 4 online for the longest time. But now that I've actually used it, doesn't annoy me as much. What people were really annoyed about this gun is that the fact that it's a 3-round burst, and if all 3 bullets hit you, they could not have stopping power, and you could have Juggernaut into one-shot kill. Just simple as that. I mean, everyone uses the gun. I will say, the gun is cheap and it is overused, but I actually like this one. Unlike the overused weapon in COD 5, which I'll get to here in a minute. But the M16, once I got used to it, it's really good. Now, unlike everyone else, or about 95% of the people who use the M16, I don't just use the M16, okay? I may have Red Tiger 4, but I just want to get Red Tiger 4 because I think it looks cool. I use other guns more than I use the M16, I'll say that now. I mean, I do use the M16 quite a bit, but I use the other guns more. Like, I use the MP5, the M4, the SAW, and the M40. I use all those more than the M16. So, and yeah, so... People are just annoyed because they think all the time it kills them in one hit. And I will say this, I am still extremely paranoid of that gun, so much that I will resort to camping sometimes just so I won't get killed by some camper who has an M16, which is still a very common sight on COD 4. Unbelievably. Well, believably. People love to camp on these games. So that's COD 4. Now, specific annoyances about COD 5. Yes, I'm calling it COD 5. So fuck you for disagreeing that it should be called COD 5. First off, and don't worry, the game's not in the case even this time, it's in the console. First off, this game's cheap weapon, the MP40. Now, unlike COD 4's supposed cheap weapon, I just don't like the MP40 that much. I personally think the other three SMGs are way better than this gun. Why? Okay, let me list the reasons. One, it's overpowered. And that ain't opinion, that's fucking fact, motherfuckers. This thing's power is nearly full, and it's a fucking submachine gun. It's as high as the Mosin and Johns. And the Mosin and the John is a fucking bolt action. Those are supposed to be powerful. And when people put double tap on it, they're just like, you know what, fuck stopping power. This gun now has just as high as a fire rate as it does power. So it's unstoppable. Then again, it has twice the recoil, which is one of the main reasons I don't like the MP40, because of its recoil. This thing kicks like crazy. Apparently Treyarch thought they made the MP40 too much of a piece of shit on COD 3, which... In all honesty, the MP40 was a piece of shit on COD 3. They should have kept it that way, because then it wouldn't be overused. Then another gun would be overused. So I guess one gun at least has to be overused in these games. Point is, I think it's even more overused than the M16 on COD 4, and that's saying a lot, because the M16 is used by a lot of people on COD 4. I mean, people just run in spraying with this shit. When they hip fire, it barely has any recoil, and that's all people do, and they go even medium range, is they fucking hip fire with this thing. So, I mean, yeah, there's that gun. And like I said, unlike the M16, I just don't like the MP40. I actually have two SMG classes. I replaced my shotgun class with another SMG because I don't ever use shotguns because I'm utter shit with them. But I use the Thompson and the Type 100. I like the PPSH too, but I like these two better. But I mean, I just don't see what's so special about the MP40. I seriously don't. I mean, hell, on Call of Duty 1, the MP40 is just as overpowered as it is on COD 5. I mean, you know, seriously, I just don't see what's so special about that damn gun. I mean, what is so godly as people love to... I'll just say this right now, I have seen too many gamer tags on leaderboards on Call of Duty alone that had the word godly in it. I want to punch the people who did that shit. So MP40 out of the way. Now the second thing, bouncing Bettys. Okay, Claymores in COD 4 were bearable because, one, they had a huge red laser you could see. These things were huge, and they didn't just barely stick out of the ground like bouncing Bettys do. And they also had like a 1 second long delay between the clicking sound and the explosion. It was like... Bouncing Bettys, first off, you can barely see these things. And when you walk up, they go... It's like, just like that, you're dead. Well, if not dead, almost dead. So the guy who planned them is just going to fucking kill you. Unless there's some people who love to Betty on the run when they're not sniping, which is when you should use them. People did this with Claymores in COD 4 too. They just laid them down in random places on the run. I fall victim to these things all the damn time. I mean, you have to shoot these things out, but they're very hard to see. People who put them in tall grass are the worst because you can't see those things at all. You have to throw a grenade and hope it blows up. But, I mean, Bomb Squad people, I'm pretty sure, have a fun time with it, but that's really annoying. And these things are more powerful than Claymores are, from my experience. At least for me, they are. But anyway... That does it for specific annoyances. I'm not sure. This is my second time having to do this because the time limit dragged on too long the first time. So I'll end this now and I'll have the second part up after this.